Hey, nerds. We understand you. Drop those controllers. Lose the wizard hat. And ready your Cheetos. It's time for some hard-hitting talk about the movies, books, and games you love. So get ready, oh searcher of useless knowledge. It's time to step into the Geek Cave. Now, broadcasting from a top secret and totally awesome hidden base, I'm Kent Harris, and here's Darren Wright, Justin White, and Chad Savage.
And welcome to another edition of It's Not $149.99, it's $150. Geek Cave Podcast Movies. I'm Darren.
I'm Justin.
I'm Chad, reminding you that in the summer, the Eiffel Tower can be 6 inches taller due to thermal expansion, making the Eiffel Tower a shower, not a grower. We are brought to you by Shirtosaurus, digging up clothing from the past so you can look rad today, with great t-shirt, sweater, and hoodie designs on everything geek chic. Whether you're a fan of old school gaming, anime, 80s cartoons, or you're just weird, find something for you at Shirtosaurus.com. And Gamefly, with membership options for every budget, plus gifts for gamers of all ages. Gamefly has thousands of titles you can keep as long as you want. When you're done, just send it back with the posted paid envelope for a new one, or keep it forever and pay a lot less than in-store prices. Sign up for a free 30-day trial right now using the link at geekkpodcast.com.
I swear, mon ami, it's just cold in here.
I've not been anywhere. Darren, you been anywhere?
No, I can't say that.
Justin, you been to any parties?
Guys, gals, non-binary pals, Hall & Oates.
Pilot Party! Pilot Party! Okay, all right. Sorry.
I just love that we're never going to run out of bands.
We're never.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's great. Welcome to Pilot Party, where I review an entire TV series based only on the first episode. Why only the first episode? I'll have to tell you, you're not my mom! Anyway, let's talk People of Earth.
Okay,
People of Earth.
We're right
running
here.
for 2 seasons on TBS. It stars Wyatt Cenac and Anna Gasteyer. New York City reporter Ozzie Graham isn't sleeping well. He keeps having this recurring dream of hitting a deer with his car. Not just replaying the incident. Like, the deer is in his car and says, "Hey man, you're about to hit me." Ozzie has been sent to Beacon, New York to do a story on Star-Crossed, a support group for, quote, experiencers, victims of alien abduction. Ozzie thinks that they're all crackpots, but humors them for the sake of the interview. Back home, his editor loves it and wants a follow-up story. Ozzie thinks they're giving him easy stuff because of the car accident, but agrees to follow up, but then it's back to the hard-hitting stuff he's used to. Back in Beacon, Ozzie befriends Jerry, an experiencer who says the town is a hotbed of alien activity. Talking to the rest of the group one-on-one, Ozzie finds eerie similar details to their stories. The only difference seems to be what kind of alien has abducted them. Some are lizard folk, some are little gray men, some are 7-foot-tall Nordic-looking humanoids. Gina, the leader of Star-Crossed, believes Ozzie has also been abducted when she hears about his recurring dream. In the meantime, his editor prints an early draft of the story with everyone's real name in it. In a rage, Ozzie quits and goes back to Beacon to possibly uncover the truth. Under hypnosis, he remembers being abducted by not just one alien, but 3. A lizard, a gray, and a white. Like having coffee with a unicorn. Very rare. He's more determined than ever to find the truth. Back in New York, his old editor is taking an interest in Beacon and appears to be an alien himself. This is a quirky and fun little show, albeit a bit predictable. But seeing the 3 aliens bicker with each other about how the other is doing their jobs was a fun touch. It's like being at work, but with, extraterrestrials. Now for my predictions. Ozzie digs deeper into Beacon and why there are so many alien abductions. Turns out it's an alien resort, best in the galaxy. The, quote, experiencers are aliens who have been there a little too long and have gone feral or human. The abductions are just the owners of the resort trying to gently pull these people back into reality. As for Ozzy, he's human. Always has been. Turns out the deer from his dream is a race of aliens looking to reenact that one scene from Bambi, but in reverse. Ozzy just happened to run over them before they could play it out. The abduction was just a cover-up. I give it 3.5 office full of people with deer heads out of 5.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know what I was expecting,
It wasn't that.
but
No.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, there are a lot of shows out there that live in the memories of TV land. Some of them are given new life, and some are relegated to the dustbins of history. So this segment of the show asks you about one such forgotten piece of television history and asks, should we review it? It was good then, and the original is just as good now. Reboot it, the idea is sound, but we can modernize it, capture some magic. Revive it, what are these characters doing after a couple of decades of growth and development? Or refuse it, Chad, dude. I want to tell you about a television show that is so steamy that my own denomination, the United Church of Christ, called it a low-life, salacious program.
Oh.
Before it was even released.
You have my attention.
And before any of the public had seen the pilot.
All right.
For 6 months before its release in 1977, the show was attacked for its primetime focus on sex, adultery, and other such low forms of entertainment. Protestants, Catholics, and Jews all went after this thing. When it finally premiered, the phone calls that came in, 74% were positive. And the 26% that found it offensive, half of those planned on watching it the next week.
Okay.
So what is it? Maybe I should just describe it. For the full effect, just pretend that I sound like Casey Kasem.
All right.
This is the story of two sisters, Jessica Tate and Mary Campbell. Jessica lives in a neighborhood known as Rich. Jessica likes life. The only thing about life she would change, if she could, is that she would set it all to music. The Tates have more secrets than they do money. We're approaching Mary Campbell's house. Mary, too, likes life. Unfortunately, life doesn't seem to be too crazy about her. As you can see, the Campbells don't have nearly as much money as the Tates. They do, however, have as many secrets. Confused? You won't be after watching Soap.
Okay.
Running for 4 years before being unceremoniously canceled. The Tates and the Campbells got into soap opera jam after soap opera jelly, but also tackled quite a few issues: racism, homophobia, mental health, socioeconomics, over and over and over. What started as a satire turned into a pretty solid comedic long form. What do you think? Soap.
I think that something like that would thrive today. So I heck, full on revive. Let's do a revival. Reboot. Well, let's reboot it. I think something like that would thrive in today's kind of like not one camera, but the whole documentary style comedies like you get with The Office and Modern Family, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think soap could work like that. Yeah. I remember seeing a couple episodes of this. I thought it was hilarious. So yeah, absolutely. Let's reboot this thing.
I'm in the same boat with Darren in terms of viewing. I've only seen a handful. I've never actually sat down and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I was confused until you said the name, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it took me a while too. Yeah, it was the name.
I'm gonna go with review, simply because I think a lot of those things would still hold up today, and sometimes it's hard to recapture lightning in a bottle, especially in today's world where you've got a bunch of shows not necessarily covering topics like that, but have that sort of format.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with review. Just go back and rewatch it.
So this is a review for me. I really wanted a revival like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. because now quite a bit of the cast are dead.
Yeah.
So.
But this is one of those. I have it. I have the box set. I hate the way that they packaged it because it's in like this cheap plastic thing, and just all the discs sit right on top of each other, just stacked.
Why would you? Why?
So I've watched it through once, put it back in, and haven't touched it because trying to store it otherwise involves suddenly a huge amount of space.
I need to get you some slim cases or
How
something.
many discs?
Quite a few.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my
Fair.
head. It's been several many years since I've watched it.
I'm looking at like the list of like the things that they did in this show: alien abduction, demonic possession, extramarital affairs, murder, kidnapping, unknown diseases, amnesia, cults, organized crime warfare, and a communist revolution, and teacher-student relationships.
Yeah,
That's great.
I mean, mental health stuff. You had the guy who only talked through his ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal as the homosexual like nephew or son,
Right.
who had like the football star boyfriend that was quite a big deal
Yeah.
for quite a few years, kind of thing. It's good. It's not great, but it's good, and it's got all of the soap opera trappings for good and ill. And so there's some of that that's just like, But yeah, it's a review it for me. If they 20 years ago had done a revival just to end it, that would have been great. But they didn't. So much for that. All right. Time for the Trailer Park Roundup, the inexplicably popular football game edition.
I like that.
So these are just the movie trailers that aired during the game.
During the big game that we legally cannot say the name of.
Oh, yeah, the Superb Owl.
The Booper Soul.
Right. So Transformers Rise of the Beasts, proudly brought to you by Porsche and the overreacting man scream of the 1990s. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Hey, a teaser for a trailer. I refuse to take part in such chicanery. I still haven't seen the trailer online.
It's good.
Okay.
You can find it at geekpodcast.com.
Fast X. Because movies that end in X as a number are always great. See Jason X, Saw X, and Project X.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. You know, I want to like it. It is an odd-numbered Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks really rough. There is no hiding Harrison Ford being 93 years old. Or however old he is now.
I'm hoping that a lot of it is just the early post-production stuff to get it out for the big game.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's an odd-numbered.
It's an odd-numbered. It might be good.
It might be good, yeah.
Or
chances are pretty high that it is good, being the odd-numbered kind.
Yeah. So Indiana Jones works like the Rockies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an odd number. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Creed 3. Still looks intense. Still looks good. I like the franchise, though. I like the Rockies. I like the Creeds. Yeah.
I'm more of an Appalachian kind of guy. But
Gotcha.
That's fair. Smoky Mountains for me.
Air. Courting a Legacy. The almost true story of the development of the Nike Air Jordan. And they'll just make a movie about anything now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun little addition to the movie, to the documentary series, The Last Dance. I don't think it's worth a full movie.
The Flash.
Oh, boy. All right. Yep.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this. And now, stupid Michael Keaton Batman and stupid Danny Elfman theme song and
Superdrill's in it.
stupid appropriate Supergirl. It's like, I don't want to support Ezra Miller, and I won't. So I'm going to support Michael Keaton twice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just...
They had the Batmobile.
I know.
Like the good one, the right one.
I know. This looks like a
Baby.
This This looks like a really good Batman Supergirl movie that they just kind of wedged the Flash into.
There's a scene in the trailer where you see like a bunch of different bat suits, you know, and one of them is blue and gray, and I'm like, son of a bitch. All right, fine, I'm in, but I better
Conditionally.
I better not see Ezra Miller at the end of this.
You know, that brings up an interesting question. Since Ezra Miller is kind of damaged goods for Warner Brothers' continued success.
Kinda.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, how
Just a little.
It's about as
Hey.
damaged as a tomato dropped down a staircase.
consider how many awful people have been in positions on Warner Brothers and et al.
Yeah, they all suck.
Yeah, and they stayed there, so who
Yeah.
knows? For us to be able to buy into Warner Brothers' continued success,
Yeah.
what actor takes over as the Flash moving forward? Wrong answers only.
Wrong answers only.
Wrong answers only.
Okay. Okay, so do you want like seriously bad, or do you
I'm
want just like comedically bad?
I mean,
Because I can do either.
It's on you, man.
Okay, because like Danny DeVito as
That's
Barry.
the one I wrote down.
God dang it. Okay.
I mean, clearly he's the right choice.
Well, no. Okay, let's double team it though. Barry Allen played by Danny DeVito. Wally West played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm digging that.
Okay.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wesley Shipp. Bring him back.
Hey, he's still doing it.
He's
He's
still-
playing
yeah.
Jay Garrick on the CW stuff.
See?
Yeah. I vote Leslie Grace.
Leslie Grace.
But instead of the traditional red and yellow Flash suit, you make it purple and yellow and black. And instead of the Flash, it's friggin' Batgirl.
Yeah.
Viola Davis.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, just like have it merge with the Waller series that's coming.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt would be
I mean,
amazing.
He does a lot of Marvel stuff, so let's woo a big actor over from Marvel.
You know what? We haven't seen Macaulay Culkin in a while.
We haven't seen Macaulay Culkin in a while. Barry Allen is canonically blonde.
It's true.
And we'd be looking at somebody who's around their 40s.
Around their 40s. Maybe damaged goods, but not as damaged.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt. Just cut the
Yeah,
special
just
effects
cut the
budget way
special
back.
effects out.
Yeah.
Let's just do
I mean-
that, yeah.
How easy. I mean, they're always looking to save money.
And if we're
I mean,
going,
they cancel Batgirl for that.
if we're going that route, Michael Phelps is Aquaman.
Yeah, that made sense.
It works.
It
That
does.
made sense. That made sense.
See, this all makes sense. Why is nobody listening? to
Why
this?
are we not casting these films?
I don't know. All right, so I got a few reviews. Do you have any review? Yes, you got a review.
I
We'll
have
get to
one
you-
review.
We'll get to you at the end there.
Yeah?
Do you have any reviews other than?
Nope.
All right, so I got a few reviews for you here. First up, Kunk on Earth. It's on Netflix. Cunk. Kunk.
Mm-hmm.
Diane Morgan's character, Philomena Kunk, is an absolute ninny, and I love her. This is one of those mockumentaries where the more you know about history, the funnier it is.
Uh-huh.
Styling itself as a satire of planet Earth, it begins, "This is our planet. Planet Earth. It is the planet I'm literally on right now. And unless you're watching this on a long-haul flight or while falling off a building, you are too."
Okay.
5 episodes long, half hour or so each episode, does not overstay its welcome. I laughed many times over the runtime, and you will dig Pump Up the Jam by the time it's over. Solid A.
Okay.
Your Place or Mine. A rom-com that is built on the idea, it seems, that its two biggest stars and their leads, Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon, had such busy schedules that they would have to make the movie without them ever being together, with the exception of a couple of scenes. Like 2. The setup of the movie is that these two best friends, that were never given proof that they're best friends, there's very little chemistry here, swap houses so Reese can take some practical college classes, Ashton can watch her kid. Humor's cringe, and after about the 4th cringe moment, I fast-forwarded to the end to make sure that the ending was telegraphed in the first 10 minutes is what actually happened. It does, so you don't need to see it.
Okay.
It's a C,
All right.
as in the letter C.
Yeah, yeah. As in caca.
As in competent, but not good.
Okay.
Cat Burglar. So this one's on Netflix as well. All right. This is one that you watch on your laptop or computer. It is a trivia game on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It's a cartoon in which you are a you're following the cat who is going to rob the art museum. And at different parts of it, there will be a plan, or there will be a chase, or there'll be something going on. And a trivia question is going to pop up on screen, and you have so long to answer the 3 trivia questions. If you get them right, then the plan succeeds. If you fail, then your character will die, and you start back over, at an earlier success. It's ultimately too niche to be anything other than a curiosity, but you can run through it about 6 times for 6 different pieces of art, and it's good enough. So it's a C+. Darren.
Yeah.
What did you watch?
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur on Disney+.
Say what now?
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. You might remember Justin did I think it was a long box on that.
I did.
Quite a while back.
I do remember that now.
And we tweeted out the link to that if you want to go back and listen to it.
Please do.
So, this is...
we pay them more when you click on that link.
It's a new...
My ego needs stroking. Please do.
So it's a new animated series on Disney Plus about Luna Lafayette, a 13-year-old genius living in the Lower East Side of New York. And first of all, let me get right off the bat. The animation style is, the backgrounds are all done with, you remember when comics in the 80s and 90s were made up of these little dots for the images, you know? That's the backgrounds. It's all little dots, so it's nice and stylistic, but the characters are all drawn, think Proud Family, as far as the kind of animation. And it's very hyperactive, especially Luna. This kid is can't sit still, kind of all over the place, really quirky. Her family runs a roller rink, and there are power outages happening in the Lower East Side of New York, and she finds out that if we don't find what's causing these power outages, my family's going to lose the roller rink because they can't keep it open because no power. So she does some research into, she's a super smart kid, and she thinks she's built a generator to give themselves a spot on the grid, so to speak. No, it's a portal generator. And she inadvertently teleports a giant red Tyrannosaurus into her secret lab in the basement.
I've had this problem
It's happened before. This happens to a lot of people. So the dinosaur runs off. She manages to chase it, all the while screaming, "Please don't destroy the city." And
as you do.
Eventually, it learns the word stop. So it stops. And she feeds it hot dogs from a street cart, and it imprints upon her. And now she is Mama. And they're spotted by this kid who is in her class and is kind of a social media influencer at the ripe old age of 13. And so they're going to team up and try to get to the bottom of the power outages, all while, using Influencer Girl to boost their cred on social media. So dubbing herself Moon Girl and teaming up with the dinosaur, she is named Devil because its actual name translates to, she learned dinosaur, by the way. She learned how to speak dinosaur. But its actual name translates to fire breather who will bring the end of all things. So she thought Devil was a nice, shorter, snappier title for that. Because
you know what?
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Brevity.
Of wit.
I've been called that before.
They find out that the
fire breather who brings death and destruction.
They find out that the person causing the power outages is actually her new science teacher. She has a bit of a crisis of conscience, but in the end, she does, in fact, do the superhero thing, bring down the villain, the day is saved, future adventures to come. And I laughed a lot during this because the jokes land. The animation is a bit all over the place, and it feels, and I don't mean the derogatory term of this, but it feels very hyperactive, It feels very over here, you've got a 1 second attention span.
Like a Teen Titans Go script?
Like a Teen Titans Go script.
I was just thinking that.
But the writing is very good. I enjoyed Luna and her family. And so, I will probably continue to watch it as long as it proves to be as good as the first episode did. The full 8 episodes, I believe it's 8 episodes. Let me double check. The first 6 episodes are now up on Disney Plus. It will have a total of 10 for its first season.
Nice. Well, do we have any other reviews?
I don't.
No other reviews.
Well, then it is time. We do have a thing.
I do have one more thing.
And now it is time for Darren's Trivial Trivia.
Okay, so we talked about Hogwarts Legacy or Harry Potter and the Forbidden Game in the last segment.
Mm-hmm.
So for today's trivia, in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, in order to acquaint himself with his 3 lead actors, director Alfonso Cuarón had each of them write an essay about their characters from a first-person point of view. Emma Watson, in true Hermione fashion, went a little overboard and wrote a 16-page essay. Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter, wrote a 1-page summary. Rupert Grint, who played Ron Weasley, never turned his in.
That's beautiful.
There you go.
Yeah, that tracks.
Well then, Kent?
Oh, the lights are down low. The popcorn is hot. The drinks are cold. Settle in for the cinematic universe of Chad's Random Movie Review.
The roll of the dice has the next movie I review being The Babysitter, Killer Queen.
Oh, no. Okay.
This month, the dice decreed our 150th episode to feature the movie Morbius.
Yes! It's Morbin time!
I am conflicted about this movie.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Because I would love to get into a rant about Morbin time and how awful this movie is and so on and so forth.
Gonna morb all over the place. You just watch.
But I can't. Make no mistake, this isn't a good movie. But it doesn't deserve the hate it's getting. At least, Jared Leto doesn't deserve the hate he's getting.
Huh.
I think that if Jared Leto, had not been such a disaster as the Joker, this movie would have been better reviewed and better received. The movie, it's about Michael Morbius, a genius intellect researcher and scientist who's so genius he rejects the Nobel Prize after inventing artificial blood. It's a pride thing. Why is Morbius so interested in blood? Because he has a blood disease for which he's trying to find a cure. Pseudoscience cut short, his blood's missing a key component of DNA, so the only way he can live is by having regular blood transfusions. For some reason, the solution, in his mind, has to do with vampire bat blood. After some promising results, Michael goes to his brother Milo, played by Matt Smith, who has the same blood disease, in order to get some money. Michael is smart-brained, but Milo is rich. And has the connections to get Morbius on a ship in international waters to conduct some seriously sketchy human experiments on himself. The serum turns Morbius into the living vampire. They'll never use that title. Instead, they'll use a series of very fast jump cuts, a weird smoky visual effect, and about 8 mercenaries to show that Michael has become something different. Something dangerous. Something else beginning with D. An investigation begins on the ship once it's discovered that there's a whole bunch of dead people on it. And they're not even, sailing the ship. They're just proper dead. But by that point, Morbius is back in his lab, indulging in more smoky visual effects to demonstrate that he has powers. You want to know why we so rarely see the world as Daredevil sees the world? Because it's stupid. And none of this, by the way, is Leto's fault. It's the director's. Leto may well be giving one of his most nuanced performances yet. Unfortunately, it's buried under a bunch of poor editing. As a scientist, Morbius begins testing himself, not just his powers, but his reliance on blood and how long he can use artificial blood before his body rejects it. One of his tests involves starving himself for a while. This will go poorly. Matt Smith will show up, give him the blood he needs to survive, and the two of them will argue, with Milo saying, "You've cured us," and Morbius saying, "I've cursed us." And so Milo steals a vial, becomes another vampire-type fellow, but one without a moral or ethical compunction about killing people. That will lead to the climactic battle and ends with Milo's death. I'm not worried about spoilers here. Anybody who's wanted to see this has seen it.
Yeah.
All right, so in criticizing this movie, we have to get a few things clear. All right, this is a slower movie than we're used to seeing in the comic drama field. All right, it doesn't make it bad, but it plays a role in our expectations. The movie's short, but I can't recommend making it longer. Instead, they just needed to change some scenes over. There's a lengthy sequence in the opening that has Leto collecting bats. It doesn't need to be there. Doesn't add anything to the movie. It doesn't show up later as like a Chekhov's gun. It's just, oh, this is what we're doing before we get to the part where he's a kid. We have to show that Jared Leto's actually in the movie, I guess. Swap that with some scenes to better show the relationship between the characters, and the ending will pay off better. See, that's the biggest problem with the movie. Nothing feels earned. You know, when Captain America stands up at the end of Endgame and he says, I can do this all day.
Yeah.
And it's a really powerful moment because he's been saying that since his first movie.
Mm-hmm.
It feels earned for him to be able to stand up next to a intergalactic warlord and be like, let's do this.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do this until one of us can't. All right? Nothing in this movie has that. And the thing is even in Captain America, the First Avenger, and I'm just making that comparison now. By the end of that movie, it still felt earned because we saw him use it before he had powers.
Yes.
And then,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Yeah.
earned. Even the serum that he develops seems to come out of nowhere. The only indication we get that it's taken time is that he numbers the experiments and has reached the 200s. A montage of trial and error taking the same amount of time as the cave scene with the bats in the beginning. That'd show us either his desperation or his genius or a little bit of both. I mean, show us his brother getting sicker. Heck, just show us them together for longer than the couple of weeks that they seem to be together as kids. Anything to build these characters as actual people who have connection and relationship. Also, Matt Smith is your villain? Why, Sony? Why? You just took one of the most charming, well-liked character actors on the planet and made him a sadist. So much more should have been done. So much with both of these characters, but the film instead stinks of studio involvement. So we get Venom jokes. You know, this is all taking place in the same universe that Venom is in.
Oh yeah, the Sony Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Especially after Michael Keaton shows up as Adrian Toomes twice in the end credit sequences, which I guess means Sony doesn't know what end credit sequences are for. The visual effects are all over the place. The final fight scene, which I will remind you is between two people, is as confusing to watch and keep track of as the ending battle in the first Michael Bay Transformers movie.
Oh.
So here's where we land. Connection is how we make meaning. Stories are meant to forge and strengthen our feelings of connection. This film doesn't do a good job of that, which is its ultimate downfall. It makes it a bad movie, but I was still entertained. So here's how I'll explain it. I would rather watch Morbius than, say, Howard the Duck. But that's pretty low hanging fruit. So I would rather watch Morbius than Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Or Supergirl. Still too low hanging. Darren is sitting up.
Yeah.
Hold on. Morbius is better than Green Lantern. It's better than any Fantastic Four movie that's yet been made. It's better than 2/3 of the RoboCop movies, 1/3 of the Blade movies. It's better than any X-Men movie that features a character called Phoenix. And it's better than both live-action Hulk movies. So I would rather watch Batman and Robin than Dark Knight Rises. I would rather watch Morbius than Batman and Robin. So that's where it is. This movie is of a quality somewhere between Batman and Robin and The Dark Knight Rises. In such a list, I'm going to say, I guess, watch it with booze.
Could I make one slight suggestion?
Sure.
I think you'd be better served watching Spider-Man the Animated Series Season 2, Episode 6, which is entitled Morbius.
Is that the one where he just keeps screaming about Felicia and how he needs plasma?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Why not?
This guy gets it.
He gets it, yeah.
Well, with no other business, thanks to our sponsors, Shirtosaurus and Gamefly. Check out news and reviews not on the podcast, but on the website, geekcavepodcast.com. Join the Discord for fun conversation. Tell your friends all about where to find us, including Podbean, Apple Podcast, Amazon Good Pod, and so forth. Don't forget to check out our other offerings, including You Want Me to Watch What? And Week 3. Then head over to YouTube channel, see Geek Cave Plays and Retromantics. For Kent Harris, our T-Box Watkins. For Darren Wright, our Left Eye Lopez. For Justin White, our Chili Thomas, I'm Chad Savage, a creepy scrub chasing waterfalls. Thanks for listening, and remember, everyone is a geek for something.